The Asetek Forte Formula Pro is a high-performance, premium sim wheel that actually doesn't cost as much as you might think. That's despite its rich feature set, and it's also got something its biggest competitors don't have. Let's dive in and see what this thing is all about. The Forte Formula Pro is priced at a pretty tasty €629, which around the time of filming is around £550 or $649. But it's also worth noting you do have to purchase the handle separately too, so all in all you're looking at around £620 or $740. So of course it's still priced as a premium wheel, putting it against the likes of the Moser FSR2 Formula and the Sim Magic FX Pro Formula. But Asetek's product actually comes out around the same price or slightly cheaper. Now, despite being cheaper, the Forte Formula Pro has left nothing on the table in terms of design and features, with the wheel being made of this glass fiber reinforced material that has this lovely forged carbon finish. This helps keep the weight down to 1,670 grams with the handles attached. This makes it around 80 grams lighter than the Sim Magic and only slightly more than Moser's Formula wheel. It's actually the same material that features in the older Forte Formula non-pro wheel rather than the CNC machined aluminium that features in the made-to-order Invicta Formula wheel. So let's take a closer look at the Forte Formula Pro's design and features. So at the heart of the wheel is this 4.3 inch 800 by 480 LCD touch display, which is 60 Hz. But it actually feels a little bit bigger than the 4.3 inch I mentioned earlier, and that matches other wheels that I've mentioned earlier in this review as well. But it actually feels a little bit bigger just because the way the design and the curve of the glass feels, it does feel like they've done a really good job with the design of it. I really like the way they've done that, and it just makes the screen feel a bit more immersive when you're driving, which is a really nice touch. So in terms of LEDs, there's a lot of them on this wheel. You get the rev lights that are integrated into the glass, which is also a really nice touch design-wise. I really like the way they've integrated that in there. And there's 31 RGB LEDs in total, which can be configured for flag lights, anything you want basically in the software. Now, talking of software, the wheel is fully customizable using Asetek's Race Hub software, but this wheel also supports full integration with SimHub. That's something that none of the other wheels that I mentioned earlier offers, and that's a massive plus for player choice and customization, meaning your options are basically limitless. You can even mix and match features from RaceHub and SimHub if you want. So if you have your favorite SimHub dash but you want RaceHub animations, for example, you can do it. Now that's a massive selling point, particularly at this price point. You just don't see wheels like this of this quality at this price point with SimHub integration. So Asetek, good job. It also offers USB-C compatibility for third-party quick releases, so you can attach this to pretty much any wheelbase out there. Now let's talk inputs now, because there are a lot. There are 142 of them in total to be exact. So you got 10 push buttons. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and then the same on the other side. You've got the 3 rotary encoders, which are nice and chunky, making a lovely clunking sound, which is really nice. You get the 6 thumb encoders, which are located in actually really nice places. You get 2 just where the thumb meets the handle here, which is really nice, just for on-the-fly adjustments when you're racing. Again, you also get one here that is just a bit further down. Again, you can configure these for different adjustments that you want, but these are also positioned really nicely. And then not so nicely positioned are these ones right down the bottom. You can reach from the handle, a bit more difficult, but it's more of a one hand on the wheel on a straight type of thing with these ones. You also get these 2 rocker switches at the top, which can be pretty much easily accessed from the handles as well, which again can be configured whatever you want. And of course you have the paddles on the back as well, which are all aluminium. So everything in terms of the buttons, in terms of the switches, they're all aluminium. So everything has a really nice premium feel, premium noise when you press them. And I really like the way the RGB LEDs react as well as you press things. That's a really nice touch. I like that. So in terms of handles, I went with the standard Formula handles just because I play a lot of Formula games, but they also work pretty well for GT and LMP and hypercar racing as well. But you can also go for a suede version of these. You can go for LMP specific handles, or even the extra large version of these ones. But just to note as well, these are the same handles as all the other Asetek button boxes or Formula wheels. So if you've already got a set of handles, you can just unscrew them and bolt them straight onto this one, and you don't need to pay for the extra handles, which again is a really nice touch. Now, being an Asetek product, it also comes with the Asetek quick release system. In my opinion, this is probably the easiest quick release system out there, and it makes installing it on the wheelbase very, very easy. I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration. So there's a little paddle on the back here. I don't know if you can see that. So all you do is you pull it towards you, and then you pull up, and the wheel's off. And then you heard my computer beep there. And then all you do to put it back on is you do the same thing. So you pull it towards you. I'm going to use like that, and it goes straight back on. No problems at all. Very, very easy to use. And I think that's the thing about Asetek in general, because it's open ecosystem, pretty much anything can be upgraded or expanded over time, and it is an open ecosystem. You can install modular shifters at the top or the bottom because the space on the back. You can change the buttons, you can change the color kits for the buttons. It's a very open ecosystem, and that's one of the biggest plus points about investing in an Asetek product at this moment in time. And SimHub integration, as I mentioned earlier, is also a massive plus point for this device. Overall then, I think the design of this thing is pretty spectacular, to be honest. I mean, just look at it, like the carbon finish, you got the premium aluminium materials all around, you got the flowing design of the glass and the way the RGB LEDs integrate into each of the buttons, and it's super comfortable too, but I'll go into that in a bit more detail later on in the performance section. But honestly, I've been pretty blown away by the design and the features of this thing. I think it looks great. I think it looks really premium. I think it looks really, really cool. Now, Asetek always say that they're Danish design, engineering, they really try and go for track grade materials, and with this wheel, honestly, it's pretty hard to argue with that, to be honest. Everything feels really premium and really great to use. And honestly, design wise, this looks almost identical to the ultra premium Invicta Formula wheel, which I mentioned earlier. That's made to order, so it starts at over £1,000. So it's pretty mental that at this price point, you can get this wheel with these features and this design. I think that's really impressive, to be honest, from a design point of view. So let's talk about performance then. I've been testing this wheel in a variety of different games, from F1 25 to Asetek Force Evo and Le Mans Ultimate, which is what I'm playing now, for the last few weeks. I've been using the Forte wheelbase with the Forte pedals, and honestly, at this price point, this wheel's pretty mind-blowing, to be honest. It's really, really good. Now, this wheel is just unbelievably sturdy and stiff in all situations. I mean, your rig will definitely let you down before this does. It's just incredibly solid in its construction, the quality of materials, even with the Forte wheelbase having 18 Newton meters of torque running through the wheel, giving you really nice force feedback. It's just like, what? There's no movement in any of the materials, and that gives you real confidence to just focus on the driving, which is exactly what you want in sim racing, as any sim race will tell you. If you're confident in the equipment that you've got and the wheel that you've got, it's just going to give you more confidence, and that's what I really like about this wheel. It feels really, really high quality. The ergonomics, I have to say, they're also pretty faultless too. I mean, this is probably the most comfortable wheel I've ever used. I've tested a lot of wheels in sim racing. This wheel feels great to use, even in long sessions, especially Le Mans Ultimate, when you do maybe multiple stints and stuff. I've done really long races on Le Mans Ultimate with this wheel, and it feels really comfortable to use, really comfortable, and no complaints whatsoever ergonomically. The layout of all the buttons, encoders, and kinky switches are great too. They're all really easy to use, really within reach, and they feel really high quality, as I said in the design section. And the biggest thing for me is these kinky switches as well. I think that was one of my biggest complaints about the Moser FSR2 Formula wheel, was the kinky switches just felt really low quality compared to the rest of the wheel, and these are the switches you're going to be using most often, not only in the menus but also making little changes as well during races, and these feel absolutely great. So absolutely no complaints there with this wheel. The screen itself is excellent too, particularly the Rev LEDs on the top, and now they're all integrated together. I really like the way they've done that. I know I've said that a few times, but just look at it. I think it looks absolutely amazing, and it performs really well in game as well. Now, in terms of SimHub compatibility, obviously it supports it, and I tried it and it worked straight away, absolutely faultless. I put on the lovely dashboard, which I've got here, which is something that I've used and I've had recommended to me, so I went for that one. But obviously you can choose whichever SimHub dash that you want, and you can customize it however you want, which again is one of the plus points of this device. The only one minor gripe that I have with this wheel are the shifters. I've been using this wheel for a few weeks, as I said, not really noticed anything had any issues with the shifters. It was only when I went to get B-roll in the close-ups I noticed there was just a slight bit of play in the shifters, which is surprising considering the quality of the rest of the materials. Now, I hadn't noticed this at all, and I haven't noticed since, actually, when you're playing the game. But when you press them really hard, which you're not going to do. That's not a natural movement that you do with shifters. There's just a little bit of flex in there, and that's just a little bit of a shame that it doesn't match the rest of the wheel. But honestly, you're not going to notice that in racing, and it's just a minor, a very, very minor thing for me, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. Overall then, I've been trying really, really hard to find a fault with this wheel, but honestly, I can't. It's got excellent features for a Formula style wheel. It's simple compatible. It looks amazing. It's upgradable, and it performs exceptionally well, even with tons of torque vibrating through it. And the build quality for me is unmatched, even if I'd like the shifters to be slightly better. And all this for a price that comes out around the same as its competitors, and maybe even cheaper. Honestly, I think Asetek has just thrown a grenade into the Formula style wheel sim racing market, and I'm not sure anything can compete with it. I mean, at this price point, I'm struggling to think why you would buy anything else. I think Asetek has pulled an absolute blinder with this wheel, and that's why I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 here on All Out Gaming. But if you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. Have you already picked one up? Are you impressed? Let me know. And if you've got any questions about the wheel as well, put them down below in the comments, and I'll try my best to get back to every single one of you. If you enjoyed this video, why not drop a like and get subscribed, because we've got a lot more sim racing content coming up over the next few weeks that you're not going to want to miss. But that's all from me. I'll see you next time. I'm going to get back out on Le Mans Ultimate. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.